All right. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. My name is Paul. I am half of Dads and Dice, and we are here today for another arena review. This is a little segment where it is just me going over every game that I have played since the last time I made this video, which is about a month ago, on Board Game Arena, and talking about what games I would like to play this month. So I got quite a few games played this last month with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different games, with a couple of those being played multiple times. So overall, I had a really good month on Board Game Arena. Really enjoyed playing those games. So yeah, I had a really good time with that. I got to play with quite a bit of you guys. So first, I'll shout out Patrick, First Genesis. Got a couple games in with him. Got some games in with Mike from the Brothers Murph. Got some games in with Ian, who I saw dropped a comment earlier, who is doing a live stream right now on his channel, where there's a Wills, There's a Way. Go check that out if you haven't done so. Let's see, I got some games in with Steve, Nerdy Steve. Got a bunch of games in with him. And I think that might be it. I'm probably blanking some. I made a list, but I left it somewhere, so I had to make a super quick list again. But yeah, if I did miss you, sorry. But I got a ton of games in, and I really enjoyed it. So, again, we're just going to kind of go over what is new for this month on Board Game Arena that I've played, and then what games I would like to play this upcoming month. So let's go ahead and go to our other screen here. And let's just kind of talk about Board Game Arena for a minute before we actually get into the games, so that you know kind of what we're talking about while we're talking about it. So this is Board Game Arena. Board Game Arena is a digital platform, obviously, that allows you to play many board games. The digital implementation of board games. And what I've been doing a lot lately is doing the asynchronous ones. So with that, you are able to have games going on, multiple games at a time, and you're able to get to it kind of on your time, which is something that I really enjoy about the platform. So, on here, they've got all those kind of newer games, games that latest news, new games, popular ones recommended to me, all that kind of stuff. So that is kind of a gist of Board Game Arena. And as I've said at the start of all of these, and I will continue saying, I would love to play a game with you if you have Board Game Arena. It is a free account, so go ahead and start one, and then you and I can play some games. But I am dropping my handle in the chat right now, so if you'd like to, feel free to add me on here. We can play games. I'll learn anything. If you want to ask me what I want to play, I'll let you know. But we can do any of those things here on Board Game Arena. So let's go ahead and get into some of those games that have gotten played this month. All right, so we'll start off. There's not really a order of the games on here, because again, I did have another list written out, but I forgot that list. So this one is just kind of a quick, let me write down the games that I played. So let's go through those in no particular order. Let's start off with Azul. I'm pretty sure I have featured Azul on this before, so we won't get too deep into it. But I did get to play a game of Azul, and Azul is basically an abstract tile laying game. So you have these factories, you have these 5 factories, And these factories all have different types of tiles. So you're going to be drafting these tiles, and then you're going to be putting them on your factory floor, hoping to complete entire rows so that those rows can then fill in the actual stained glass. You're making stained glass windows so that those can go in there and fill in those spaces. So it looks like this is the first round of the game here. So at the end of this round, any completed rows, one of the tiles will move over and it will fill up. You will then score, and the scoring is based on adjacency. It's also based on sets, so if you have all 5 of a certain kind, and it's also based on columns. Now, as soon as you complete a row, that is the end of the game, or that triggers the end of the game. So this game, it can go one of 2 ways. It can be a pretty friendly game to where you are just drafting kind of based on what you need, but it can also be very cutthroat where you are drafting based on what the other people need. So making them stuck with a gigantic, I forget what they call it, but it's your tiles that fell off the stained glass, basically. So this game, it was good. I enjoyed playing it. I always enjoy this one. I'm not the best at it, but it is fun to look at. So here you can kind of look at scoring, how it works. So 1 is 1, and then you just count all the ones, and then you have a minus 1 underneath that. So since these were not completed, they do not score. They stay until the next round. And then that person did have -4 as well. So that is Azul. Got to play that. Like I said, I enjoy the game. I think it's fun. I think it's a entertaining one. I'm always up to play it. Not the best at it, but you know, it is what it is with Azul. Let's see. Up next, we had some Cartographers. Cartographers is one that I've played every single month, I think, since I really kind of got big into Board Game Arena again. So we won't cover too much in Cartographers just because, like I said, we've talked about it multiple times. But Cartographers is just a flip and write game where you have a map and you are trying to map out this new area for, I forget her name, Queen Jimenez, I think, or something like that. So she has certain things that she's looking for, and it's these edicts, and so you'll be scoring these edicts throughout the rounds. So first up, you have you have edict A and B, that's round 1, the spring, then you have B and C, which is the summer, C and D, which is the fall, and then D and A, which is the winter. So you'll be scoring these edicts twice every game. So you always have one that talks about the farms and the waters and their adjacency. You have one that's villages based on sizes. So like this one is the second biggest village that you have. You always have one with trees. I think this one is each forest space surrounded on all 4 sides, or the edge of the map. You have some that's connecting mountains, and then this one is just for filled areas of the map, so your largest square. So this one you're just kind of placing stuff on there, trying to fulfill those goals before the end of the game. Now, there is some player interaction, and the player interaction that you get with this game are these, I forget what you call them, demons, minions, goblins, whatever they are. So what you do is you actually pass your board to your opponent, to the person to, I believe it's clockwise, and they will randomly place these monsters somewhere on your board, and they are worth negative victory points unless they are covered adjacently. So right here, they would be losing 2 victory points since they have nothing in those spaces. So that is Cartographers. Again, this is one that I really enjoy playing. Hey, Ian, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I watched just a tad bit of your live stream a bit earlier, but I was kind of getting ready here, so I didn't get a full chance to look at it. But thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. So yeah, that was Cartographers. Again, it's a game that I've played quite a bit on Board Game Arena, and I really do enjoy it. I think it's a good one, so I'm always up to play that. Let's see. I'm kind of going through ones that I've played quite a bit relatively quickly, just because I don't want to spend too much time on those. Let's go ahead and do Ticket to Ride next. So I got 2 games of Ticket to Ride in this month, and they were fun. So I got to play one 3-player game and then a 2-player game. And actually, Ian, you were in the 3-player game. And so Ticket to Ride, if you don't know anything about it, which I'm hoping you do if you're watching board game content, Ticket to Ride is a... Hey, Shelby. Hey, thank you, Shelby. I appreciate it. A little side note there. Yes, Devin and I, we were out on Friday because we were doing a triathlon. We were doing a half Ironman. I'm pretty sore today, pretty tired, but thank you. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. I know Devin was hurting a little bit. He had to rush so that he could make a flight. That was pretty funny. He was very determined to finish before 2 p.m. because he had to drive back 2 hours to make it to his flight. So, Ian, I'm proud of my performance. It's the slowest one I've done, but I've also haven't trained nearly as much as I used to in the past. It was a very, very hot day, and I was able to... My run went just as planned. The bike was very miserable, but it was also double the amount of time that I've spent on the bike and training. So the longest I've ridden is 90 minutes, and it took me 3 hours to ride the bike. So 3 hours, 15 minutes. So I was very done with it. But the run was really good, really happy with it. And yeah, I was very happy with my performance. So I appreciate it, Ian. That is all that matters. I wanted to see where I was at, and I know where I'm at. So, all right, Ticket to Ride. Very, entry-level game. One that got a lot of people in this hobby. But in the game, you are just collecting these colored cards, and you're trying to make routes in between cities. So you start off with these destination cards in the bottom, and they just tell you basically connect this city to this city, or have this to that, right? So throughout the game, you can get more of these destination cards, and you'll just be building up these colors and trying to place your trains down. As soon as somebody gets to 2 trains, that triggers the end of the game, and pretty much that's it. So for scoring, you get points for your trains that you've laid. So if you have a 4 train section, that scores 7 points here. If you have a 1 train section, that scores 1 point. So you score for all of those. You score for your completed destination cards. And if you have not completed one, you get negative points for it. And then you can also score for the longest train route in total. Anytime that I play Ticket to Ride, I try to get destinations that are close to each other. So always when I draft the first ones, I just look for some that are relatively close that I can try to do in one route. Generally, when I complete one of them, I will go to the destination deck and I will try to grab at least one more that kind of fits in what I have been doing. So I always like to have at least 3 destination cards that I'm working on to complete, if not 4. Been a couple times where I've been able to get 5 of them, just kind of luck of the draw. But that is kind of how I like playing this game, and I just like trying to do one giant long route like this red player is doing here. So yeah, it's a game where I feel like how I play it is just draw a bunch of cards. So you just get tons of cards in your deck, and then you just start going heavy on building those routes. So Yeah, Ian, unfortunately, sometimes when you're trying to do that strategy, your destinations that you get are not close by, and you unfortunately lose a lot of points. So I know you had a rough go that one, but we can always rematch and play again. So that was a Ticket to Ride. Let's see. I got to play a game of Carcassonne. I know I mentioned this one, I believe it was last month also, but another, very entry level kind of game that I very much enjoy. I've mentioned that in the past. I know a lot of people don't really like this game, but I really do. I think it's good. And so really every other time that I've played it, I've kind of ignored these fields here. And the fields are something that I've actually kind of grown to like a little bit more. So in this game, you get points by scoring completed rows, completed roads, completed cities. Right here, I believe they're called Abies if you surround the Abies. And I think that's it, except for the fields. And then on the fields, those are kind of end game scoring. So your meeple will stay there the entire time, and it scores based on how many meeples you have in that field and how many cities are in that field. So actually, this person right now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 completed cities in this field. And so a field is just something that is not broken off by a road. So right here, you can see all of that fits inside this city. And if this one gets completed, that one would be in there as well. If this one gets completed, that would be in there as well. So this person has a very good spot for their field. Over here, same thing, another field position, and you can see it's leading into that same one. So person's going to get a lot of end game victory points there. Looks like this is one that has an expansion, because that looks like a pig. And I do not know what that is. And I just zoomed out really bad, and I can't. There it goes. Interesting. I don't know what this pig is, and actually, I don't know what wine. The player with the most wine, cloth, and wheat. Huh. So, like I've said, I like playing this game. I might have to start reading about some of these expansions because those seem interesting. But then again, I think the base game is very good for what it is. It plays very quickly, and you just lay some tiles. But if you know what these expansions are, definitely let me know, because I wouldn't be opposed to trying that. So that is our Carcassonne. Let's see. What else? I don't realize they had. I didn't realize they had expansions on here either. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Carcassonne, and let's see what expansions they actually have, because now I'm interested. Let's see. They have the river, inns and cathedrals, the Princess and the Dragon, strategic variant. Each field is worth 3 points. Each completed city is worth 3 points to the players with the most farming. You know what? I don't think I see those on here, unless this has to do with the Princess and the Dragon or traders and builders, because I'm thinking it's probably not inns and cathedrals. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that and see if I can possibly play one of those these month. I'm gonna write that down. Expansions, Carcassonne, because that's interesting. I wonder what they do. So there we go. That is Carcassonne. Up next, we have one that I very much. We might have to start exploring. Yeah, Ian, let's do it. We can go through them and figure it out. All right, up next we have Cant Stop. Cant Stop is like my addiction on Board Game Arena. I haven't played it very much lately because I generally, when I play one game, I just play tons of them back to back to back to back. I just love just don't think about it, push your luck, do what you can kind of game. So Can't Stop is just that. It's the push luck game where you have these dice and you roll them, and then you get different combinations of those dice. So like, for example, here, if you get 2 1s, that's a 2, or if you get a 4 and a 6, that is a 10, or, any other combination of those numbers. So you roll those 4 dice and you look at what combinations you have, and then you can go up those tracks. So obviously, as you see here, the 7 track is the longest, just because 7 is the highest probability that you're going to get when you roll any dice, or when you combine 2 dice. And then as the numbers increase and decrease, those tracks get smaller and smaller, with 2 and 12 being the smallest, just because those are the hardest combination of 2 dice that you can get. So whenever you're playing this game, you really are just kind of going with the odds, right? So you're going to roll the dice, you're going to pick on the first roll, you're going to pick which tracks you want to go up. You can only go up 3 tracks at a time. And you're just going to keep on pushing your luck, keep on rolling those dice. And as many times as you get that number, you're going to go up that track until you roll something on a track that you're not on. So for example, this person's on 3, 8, and 10. So they're going to keep rolling. They got a progress on 10, same again. And they're just going to keep doing that. And if you roll no possible outcome on any of your dice, you lose all the progress that you've made and you have to start back at the beginning. If you decide to stop rolling, you get to save where you're at and continue from there. So I've had many games of this where I've completed one track in one go. I've had many games where I've been stuck at, halfway up and I've almost made it, and then I just keep pushing my luck a little bit too much and I can just never complete it. But it's just a fun, real quick, don't even think, just press a button, keep on going. And yeah, that is a Can't Stop game that I very much enjoy playing. Okay, let's see. Up next we have I got to play some King Domino. And actually, I don't think I have mentioned this one before. So King Domino, I may have, but it's been a while, if I have. But I got to play some King Domino. This is a game that actually, it was one of the first physical games that I bought in my collection. And it's one that I've played quite a bit with my wife. We love this as a 2-player game. We generally play with all of the tiles, so instead of just having your normal 5x5 grid, you have the 7x7 grid, which is what these people are playing. So basically what you have is 4 tiles here on the right, and then 4 tiles on the left. And you're going to be trying to build out your kingdom here. So you start off with just this centerpiece, and then you're going to be drafting these tiles. So whoever has a meeple on the top tile, they get to put their tile first, and then they get to select the next one. So right here, yellow will go first, and then once they put it somewhere, they will then pick which next tile they want to get. They can choose the top one, guaranteeing them to go first, or they can choose one of the other ones, which might give them more victory points. So you have to match at least one field type. So you have your fields, your deserts, your caves, your one terrain type. And then you have these crowns, which are actually the multipliers. So as of right now, this person has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these fields times 1. So they've only got 7 points. And they just drafted this one here, which is going to give them another crown. So that will turn to actually 16. Yeah. Because then they'll have 8 times 2. If you cannot place a tile, then you just have to throw it away. and you can't use it. So there's a couple different variants with this game. So you can have like the I forget what they call it, but it's like a perfect 7x7 square without empty spaces. There's another one where you have to have the castle in the middle. It is a symmetry kind of thing. So there's just a lot of little things in this game that you can put together and really try to math out the best kingdom that you can build. Again, this is one that I really... here it is, the additional rules. The Middle Kingdom, so they're playing with that. Harmony, which is where you have the perfect 7x7 square. And then the Mighty Duel that's using all of the dominoes instead of just the 5x5 like they normally would. So this game... actually, I remember I was playing it on my phone. And this one is kind of hard on the phone because... you want to rotate it and make it fit perfectly or as best as you can. And my fat fingers kept messing me up on it. Putting it in the wrong place or not twisting it all the way. But either way, it's fun. I enjoy it. Again, it's one that's just kind of let me just do what I can do. Play through it. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. This is just a game that I have fun playing in general. So we can go here till the end, watch that. So you can see there, they'll tile it up. Looks like both of these, this person was not able to complete it there. And they're seeing all the multipliers, right? So yellow got 22 points from there because there's 2 crowns. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 crowns there, 4 crowns there, and then 3x4 again, 3 crowns. So that's just kind of how the game plays. It's very quick, very easy, and one that's just a fun game. All right, I got to play Seven Wonders Duel. I've said this many times before. Yeah, it is for sure. This is my favorite 2-player only game. I absolutely love Seven Wonders Duel. I think the tension of the game between the drafting what card you want, and then that determines what card your opponent can get. Is it worth taking a card that will then flip over another card? Do you want to use the war cards and possibly have a win through the war? Do you want to go the science way? Do you want to go blue to get as many victory points as you can? Do you want to get a bunch of yellow buildings to get some money in order to buy better cards? There's just a lot of decision space in this game, and it plays very quickly, which is something that I really enjoy. There's been many nights where my wife and I, again, this is another one that I have a physical copy of, that we will just play it back to back and just continue playing it. So the fact that there is a board game arena version of it, I just think it's awesome. Like right here, right? Like, what are you going to do? Do you take the war cards? Do you take these victory points? Well, you just open both of these for your opponent. And then like they did, you always have the option to tuck the card to build your wonder, right? So there's just a lot of decision space. Now, I got very, very unlucky with 2 of my plays that I got in this month. I actually played this game 3 times. But with 2 of my games, I let the person, it was Steve, I let them get way too far ahead of on the war track here. And I was able to push him back a little bit, but as soon as I revealed a card, I think it was like on the last round, it was either a 2 or a 3 war card came out, and they bought it, immediately won the game. So that was definitely a bad way to lose. It's definitely a feel bad moment for the person on the wrong side of it. So I think right after that, I was like, all right, we're re-racking it. Let's play it again. We played it again, and almost exactly the same thing happened. He was able to just push that war and he beat me by that war again. So I was really focusing on blues. I like going blues heavy in this game and just getting victory points. Again, if you know anything about me, you know I like collecting victory points. So that's kind of how I play this one, right? I was going real hard on that, and then I neglected the war for a little bit too long, and he sniped that away from me. So after that, I actually ended up just playing another game with somebody else, and actually ended up winning that one with kind of my normal strategy, but I was very vigilant of the war because I did not want that to happen again. So that was Seven Wonders Duel. Let's see, I got to play some Terraforming Mars. So I know I got to play this one last month, and I actually got to play it again this month with Mike from the Brothers Murph. So I had messaged him here on Board Game Arena, said, hey, I know you've talked about this game. Do you want to play it? And he said, yeah, I'm always down to play this game. So I started it up, and we played with the actual Prelude expansion, which I think this game is... I think you need the Prelude expansion. I will always play with it. But basically all it does is it gives you a starting corporation, and then it gives you 2 basically starting resource cards, and this kind of guides your gameplay, or it can guide your gameplay. So this person here is starting with some titanium production, starting with a lot of money. Anytime they get a Jovian tag, they increase their money production. Here they're starting with more money and plants, and then here they're starting with more cards and a little bit more money. So you kind of start building your way towards that. Terraforming Mars is basically just a tableau building game. So at the start of every round, you can do a couple different variants. Well, you can do the game, which is just getting 4 cards and either buying or not buying those cards, or drafting, which is actually the way that I prefer to play this game. Because there is some tactical parts of the drafting. You can see kind of like what your opponent is doing, and you don't want to give them cards that will benefit them. If you don't have the drafting variant, it is way more luck-based, and that's not something that I enjoy with this style game. So play with the drafting variant, and basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to fulfill 3 parameters to trigger the end of the game. So the first thing is raising this temperature all the way up to +8. The second thing is raising the oxygen all the way to 14. And then the last thing that you want to do is have 9 ocean tiles. So once those three parameters are fulfilled, the end game is triggered. Finish the round. You do one last round of just greenery, and then you start counting victory points. So victory points are your terraforming rating, which is this number right here. You get terraforming points anytime you raise any of those parameters, plus some cards have that as well. You get victory points from milestones. So if you are the first person to reach a terraforming level of 35, if you're the first person to have 3 cities, 3 plants, 8 building tags, which are these ones right here. So this person has 2, 3 with their Prelude card. And then, or if you're the first person that has 16 cards in their deck. You also get victory points from these awards. And these awards are things that you buy throughout the game. And then at the end of the game, you figure out who got those awards. So I could buy the Landlord one, which is just having the most basically cubes out on this map. But, at the very end, the other person could snipe that away. Bankers, just who's making the most money, who has the most science tags, who produces the most heat, and then who has the most of steel and titanium. So actually in the game that I played, it was pretty close with Mike. I think what actually ended up winning me the game was at the end, I was able to snipe one of these awards away from him. which I believe was the landlord one. And it gave me more cities out on the map, which actually gave me enough victory points to end up beating him. So I think I'd calculated it. Like if I hadn't have gotten that last one or those last couple cities, he would have won. So it was a very close game. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, Terraforming Mars, this is a game that I'm just always up to play. And I actually just today, I ordered the Prelude 2 and the Atoma, because I just love this game so much. So hopefully I might be playing a solo game of that at some point. So there's Terraforming Mars. Up next, played some A Feast for Odin. This is one that I've just been playing quite a bit of lately, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But A Feast for Odin, this is a UE game, tile laying, where you have 40 plus different actions, worker placement game. Throughout the game, you have these workers. This person's playing a solo game, so I'm going to go ahead and switch off of that one. But let me see. Let me find a good one here. Here's a fast 2-player one. So, you know, every game you have all these different actions, and they're laid out pretty nicely here to where it makes sense. So everything in the first column, this is how many workers it costs. So everything in this first column is 1 worker, 2 workers, 3, and 4. And then you have basically just categories. So this first row is building houses, building ships, hunting, livestock, going to the market, getting products, crafting things, mountains and trade, sailing, and then occupations. So you have these occupation cards, which kind of will give you, oops, I just got out of that. But you have those occupation cards that will give you kind of bonus abilities throughout the game. You know, you want to get some ships in order for you to go pillaging, to go raiding, to get some of these shapes to fill in your lands, your islands. Anyway, there's a lot to this game, but basically what I'm always trying to do in the game is, just like this person here, try to cover up one of the smallest ones on here to just get a little bit of income, but then immediately I'm going to try to get some type of island. This person has 4 islands. This is going to be a very high scoring game, but you know, they've got some islands. You want to cover that up to get your income from these, because it's a lot easier to cover than this main board. On here, you know, you wanting to get some of those bonus resources that you get every line or every round. And so you're just kind of trying to just place these tiles in a way that gets you the most that you can, the most efficiently. At the start of the game, you start with minus 85 points. So every single one of these -1 is, you know, negative victory points. So by the end of the game, you want to try to cover up as much of them as possible. And so that, again, getting those islands kind of helps you in that. What I really enjoy about this game is just the amount of strategy, or the different strategies that you can do. You can go really heavy into pillaging and raiding. You can go really heavy into foraging. You can go heavy into whaling. So there's just a bunch of different stuff in here. And I got to play 3 games of this one, and I kind of got to try out different things each time, which I really enjoyed. So that is A Feast for Odin. And then let's see, I got to play some Hadrian's Wall, which is funny because I haven't played this one on BGA in quite some time, because I have the, I've been playing the solo campaign. I have the physical copy of this one. I've been playing the physical campaign, the solo campaign, and you can't do it on Board Game Arena, but I was actually out. I ended up, I backed their newest Kickstarter, Garfield Games' newest Kickstarter, which has the Anarchy and Skara Brae. And the Anarchy is kind of the mechanical successor to Hadrian's Wall. So I backed it, immediately went on BGA, and just got a playthrough of Hadrian's Wall. And So Hadrian's Wall is a flip and right, blank and right resource management game, to where you have cards that you start off with resources. You have all of these tracks, tons and tons of tracks. You have two different sheets of paper. So the left side is your wall, and you're building up your wall, trying to fill up your cohorts here to prevent pick attacks from coming in. You're trying to gather more resources, so your resource production, you're trying to increase that. You're trying to get more workers every round, builders, servants, civilians, all of those things. And then down here, this is kind of like your city part of town. So you have your traders, where you can get victory points from trading, which is basically just using this number here. You can go to your performances, which basically give you bumps up the tracks. And then you have this gladiators thing for the performance. So I barely ever use the gladiators, so I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's basically you get to see them fight, and it's based on some strength number that comes out. You end up getting bumps on tracks. You have your priest, which I'm always trying to build, which just gives you free bumps. You have the apporatories, which clear some disdain, and then you have the patricians, which is another one that I use all the time. So you'll be getting new cards here, and they give you some endgame scoring goals. So like this one is completed citizen tracks. So if you finish all 5 of these tracks, you get 5 victory points at the end of the game. At the end of every round, you have pick attacks that come in, and this person's probably about to have one here in a second. But it's based on what round you're in and if you're playing easy, medium, or hard. So as soon as you're out of all your resources, you have to use all your resources every round. Then a picked attack will come in, and this person has not built any of their cohorts out. So definitely some attacks are going to come through, which will get you disdain, which is negative victory points at the end of the game. So in reality, there is a lot going on in Hadrian's Wall, but it feels really great to be able to get this resource and trade it in for this other resource, and then you get to do this, and then you get to fill in this other track, and then you get to build up your cohorts, and then that gives you another citizen or a bump up a track, and just all those things being connected just feel very satisfying. It is a great blank and right style game. And if you're into heavier games and you haven't tried it and you like roll and write kind of games, highly recommend it. Very similar to a draft and write records where you have a whole bunch of different things going on. But I do think that Hadrian's Wall does it a little bit better. And I can't wait for the Anarchy, which is the newest one that they got coming out. All right, up next we have Splendor. Splendor is a game that I very much enjoy. It's one that I don't play very often, but I do like it. So Splendor is just a very quick engine builder game. It is the first person to 15 victory points. That triggers the end game. You finish up the round, end the game. So what you do on your turn is you can do a couple things. You can gather 3 different resources. And the resources are just different gems, right? So you have your emeralds, your sapphires, your rubies, diamonds. So you can collect 3 different ones. You can get 2 of the same kind if there are 4. You can reserve a card, which will then get you a yellow resource, which acts as a wild, or you can buy a card. So once you have, for this one here, once you have 1 of every stone type, you can buy this card, and then that gives you this production for free. So whatever is in the top corner, you have that from now on. So what you're trying to do is just have some free resources from the cards that you buy, which will then allow you to buy better cards, which will then give you victory points. So as you can tell, these on the bottom generally don't have victory points, but those are the ones that you're going to get to help you produce those resources. The next ones up are a little bit harder to get, but still very doable. So those give you 2 victory points. And then the ones on the top, those give you a lot of victory points. And then you have the nobles over here. And those nobles are yours once you are producing whatever is on that card. So once this person has 4 sapphires and 4 diamonds, this noble will come to them. They'll get 3 victory points. So like I said, it's been a while since I played this game, and I got to play it with Ian. And it was funny because after the game, we had kind of talked about how he was getting the noble right before I got it. But then I told him, I was like, no, you got the first 2 right before I was able to get it. No matter how you play this game or when you play this game, it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. It is a race. And so it really, you want to have the most efficient turns that you can in order to get to those 15 points as soon as you can. So I really like it. It's just a quick engine builder with that race type feel. So yeah, that was Splendor. Up next, we have My City Roll and Build. So I've been working my way through this campaign. And honestly, it's not my favorite. It has not been the best campaign. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not super satisfying. And I think it's mainly because it's the board game arena version of the game. So if you've ever played My City or any of these games, basically you have different building types, right? So like here on this map, you have these striped cities, you have these X cities, you have these blacked out cities. So you're going to be rolling the dice, and it's going to tell you what kind of city you have. In the first couple chapters or episodes, you have to start off by the river, placing them there. But then as the game progresses, you start getting other scoring opportunities. So at the beginning, you are scoring for available trees. You're getting negative victory points for these rocks that are out here. You're getting negative victory points for any unused land, stuff like that. But as the game progresses, I just finished a chapter where a sawmill comes out. Spoilers. Sorry if you're playing this. Spoilers. But where a sawmill comes out, so then you have to start down here, and then that allows you to build on the forest. Once you build on the forest, you start getting money bags, which will give you more victory points later. At some other point in the campaign, you start getting gold because you're starting digging in these mines. So it's just adding little things here and there to kind of change up the game. It's honestly exactly like the My City campaign, which I have experienced, and I really enjoyed that experience. I just don't think that it is a good solo board game arena game. I think I have one more chapter left. I do think I would want to try the physical copy of it, but or maybe even play it with somebody. That might be a little bit better, but I don't know. I'm honestly just playing it right now because I've started it and I want to finish it. So I'll probably finish it this month, but that one's been okay. Let's see. We've got 2 more here. And up next we have Wingspan. I've mentioned it in the past. Wingspan was never a game that I gravitated towards quite a bit. I've also said it before, I'm not the best at engine builders. Engine builders are probably one of the things that I am the worst at. So Wingspan has never really been one that's kind of drawn my attention. But I want to try it out again just because When Devin and I live streamed it a couple months ago, I actually did enjoy it a little bit more than my initial playthrough. And I figured here on Board Game Arena, it does a lot of the bookkeeping for you. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So I did, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun game. It's great because it's a game that plays in under an hour, the physical version. And you basically just make do with what you have, right? Like, you're never going to have the most optimal thing, but you just have to make do. And so I was able to build this pretty cool egg engine. Yeah, Michael, it was really interesting. Well, so I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, I was able to build this really cool like egg engine, and I was able to lay tons of eggs on the birds. So I had a lot of birds in this middle section, and it was also giving me resources, which would then let me spend those resources to get eggs. I had a really good like drawing birds card that let me tuck stuff. So just the stuff that I had available ended up working for me, and I really got to capitalize on these end of round scoring as well. So that was really good too. Yeah, Michael, going back to what you said, I really talked to Devin about it after that live stream, and he pretty much just basically said that. He was like, yeah, you're never going to have like the most optimal thing. There's no point in really digging through that deck for something that is going to make it perfect. It's just whatever you have, try to make do with that and try to make the best moves that you can with that, because, it's not beneficial to find the perfect thing. So, when he said that, that really kind of resonated with me and was like, all right, I'm not going to have the best thing, but I can make something work. And actually, even in that game, I forget what these are called. What are these? The bonus card deck. I had two at the beginning that I knew I wasn't going to be able to do. At least my starting hand would not allow me to do them. So I kept the one that I thought would be the best, and not a single card came out that would have got that bonus for me. And so I wasn't able to draw any other bonus cards throughout the game. So I scored 0 points from the bonus cards. But everything else just worked very well, and I had a really good game of it. So really happy with that one, and I'm definitely going to want to play that one again. So really happy with that play of Wingspan. And it's funny because another Stonemaier game that kind of grew on me was Tapestry. The first time I played Tapestry was on Board Game Arena, and I did not enjoy it at all. I got to play the physical version, started enjoying it a little bit more. The more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. So I don't know. I've always kind of said Stonemaier games for me are very hit or miss. But two of them they've grown on me. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to keep trying them out until I like them. So, all right. And then the last game that I got played was Praga Kaput Regni. If you watched our or my latest What's New in the Collection, you saw that Praga, and it's actually right here, you saw that Praga was new in the collection, and I really kind of wanted to try it out, so I did. I actually played some solo games of this physical version, to try to learn the game, but we'll talk about that more on Friday when we actually talk about our games played last month. So I wanted to try a multiplayer one of it. So I had remembered, I had completely forgotten that they had this on Board Game Arena. So then, I remember and I was like, oh yeah, for sure, I'm going to play that on there. And so I did. So, Michael, Wingspan and Tapestry are the only Stonemaier games that work for me. Have you tried Euphoria? To me, I think Euphoria is I think that is their best game. I love it. I don't know much about the expansion, but I've heard pretty good things about the expansion. But Euphoria is such a good game. All right, so Praga Kaput Regni. This is basically a action selection game. And there's a lot of different roads that you can go in this game. A lot of ways that you can play your game in order to win. So this is a player board. Seems like a lot. It was very overwhelming at first, I'm not going to lie. But it's honestly very, very easy to get going. So you have this action wheel with this arrow on it and this little cube. So you have these tiles, and each tile is split in two. These are the actions that you're going to be taking. So you can take one of two actions on your turn. And those actions are either walk on the King's Road, construct a wall, gain gold or produce more gold, build a building, upgrade your movement, get your mining, or quarries, get more stone or be able to produce more stone, and that's it. Those are the 5 actions that you can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 actions that you can do. You can see on this wheel there are 3 different sections. So you have your blue section, which is you get victory points if you're able to grab a tile from this blue section. So most of the time, when you're playing other people, you don't want the tiles to get in there. You have this green section, which is basically just like these are the actions that you can take. Or you have this red section, which is you can take these actions, but they're going to cost you coins. So if you really want this one, you're going to have to pay a coin to do it. You also have these bonuses in the center. So if you take this tile, you either get a victory point or you can build a special tile. Here you can pay a rock to get an egg. You get coins. You get these little doors, which just allow you other bonuses. So you have this player board here. And this player board has your 6 actions that you're doing, sorry. So one of the moves that you can do is upgrade those actions. This is the upgrade rows right here. These are the specialty tiles. You can only build the special tiles if that's the bonus that you select. These are the walls, which go on the outside of your player board. And then these are the buildings, which will go here in the city. And this right here is the King's Road. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces on the King's Road that you can go to. And basically it's just getting some type of resource when you go there. Eggs, which is one of the resources. I'm sure there's a reason why, I don't remember why, but eggs are what you spend to go on this road. But if you spend the egg, you actually get an additional resource or bonus as well. Throughout the game, you have 16 turns. You want to be as efficient as possible. These golden doors here, if you spend a golden door and a silver door, you can actually get an additional action. So you kind of want to get these doors to get more actions because, again, there's only 16. If you make it to the end of the King's Road, you can claim some of these tiles, the gold ones being endgame victory points, these ones just being some type of bonus. This is the King Charles Bridge you can get bonuses on. And then up here, you have the Hunger Wall and the Cathedral, which is just another way of getting victory points. So you cannot do all 6 things in this game. You're going to have to choose 2 or 3 of them and really hammer them hard and just go from there. So, at the end of the game, you're just getting victory points from the road, from these walls, from what level you're on, from your upgrades, from how many buildings wall tiles that you've built. But it is it's nice. It seems overwhelming, but it's really not that hard. Michael, I agree 100%. It is very nice for the upkeep. I got to play the game solo quite a bit, and there were some times where I was like, pretty sure I turned that wheel. I know I turned that wheel. And I had to I got a little post-it note, and I was like, I've taken 1 turn. I've taken 2 turns. So here on BGA, it was really nice to just be able to know that everything was done properly. But yeah, that was Praga Kaput Regni. Really enjoyed it, and like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about that one on Friday. More of the solo kind of experience with it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that was really good, and I definitely want to play it again with more people just to kind of try out some stuff. So that's it. That is all of the games that I got played this month. Played a ton of them this month. I think I said 14 different games, and then a lot of those multiple times. So, couple things. Some games that I saw that were in beta. Actually, there was really only one that caught my eye, and that was Small World. Small World came out in 2009. This is an area control game that actually this was the first or second game that I ever played. And this is one that Devin and I, we used to be roommates in college, and this is what kind of introduced me into the world of board games. So just seeing that this was on here really kind of brought back that nostalgia, or just those memories. You see Castles of Burgundy on my suggestions list. Yeah, I have not played Castles of Burgundy. Probably should. I've heard great things about it. Actually, Devin and I were just talking about it on Saturday. So, you know what? Well, we should put that one on the list too. So here it was Small World. Basically, you have this race and this class, and you get to choose your race and your class. So, depending on what you choose, that gives you the movement that they can do, and then other abilities that they have. So, when you're here, you are placing your whatever you have out on this map, just kind of vying for control of those areas. You might have some mountain areas where you need to put more people in, but at some point in the game, your person, your character is going to have to go into decline because you're out of people or you're running out of people. So when they go into decline, they all turn over, and you still have control of that area, but it's a lot easier to get rid of those people. Again, it's been a very long time since I've played this game, but this is one that we played many, many times. I didn't realize that was something that I could close out of. But yeah, it's one that I had played many, many times and really, really enjoyed it. So I'm happy to see that this one's on beta because I definitely want to play this one again. I see Small World was one of our first modern board games. We don't really play it anymore, but might take it in school. Yeah, Ian, let's play that one. Like I said, I was looking just for games that are in beta, and I saw this one on there. I don't know when it got added on here, but it wasn't very long ago. But yeah, this is one that we absolutely loved. I really like. I think it's the Ratmen. No, they have 4 troops. I forget which one it is, but there's one that just has like a bunch of troops that just spread out everywhere. Maybe it's this. Oh, I don't even remember the spirits. Anyway, it's a really fun kind of area control game, and it's just I don't want to word the zany, right? Like you can put a orc spirit, right? Or you have the sorcerers with whatever else they are. Or you have the wealthy wizards, right? So just a really cool game that I definitely want to play again. So that's Small World. And then the only new one that I saw that really interested me, so this is new to Board Game Arena, is Middle Ages. This is one that I've seen for quite some time on newsletters for, publishers and stuff that I get. And it's tile laying game, I believe. But honestly, the thing that kind of drew me into this one was the artwork. I just think it looks super cool. So I think it was released at Essen. Not 100% sure, but I think that's kind of where it was released. But this, it says it's the balance between a light filler game. There's some strategic depth, quick rounds, fast-paced game. It's just something that I feel like would be really good for this kind of platform, for the Board Game Arena platform. It can be as deep as you want it to be. It can be as light as you want it to be. So really kind of interested in it. Let me see if we can get to a game that is starting here. Watch a game in progress. But yeah, I think this one was just announced today, maybe yesterday. So you have this kind of player board. I'm assuming this is your tableau, and you are getting these and you're adding them onto your tableau. Again, I'm not 100% sure. It's just one that has caught my eye. Looks like the end of game. Just one that kind of caught my eye that looks like something I would play. So that is Middle Ages. Yeah, it looks like you're just adding them onto those colors on your board. Maybe something like Meadow or something like that. I don't know, where you build on what you've built on in the past. So yeah, that is one that I would like to play this month. I guess I got to look into it a little bit more. But yeah, I think it would be a good one to try out. I've seen pictures of it floating around on social media. It looks really good on the table. So hopefully it plays really good also. But yeah, so that is all that I have for this month on Board Game Arena. Going into just a couple games that I would like to try out. Like we mentioned, maybe some of those Carcassonne expansions. I didn't realize there was so many on there. The wine and the pig, whatever that was, that looked pretty cool. So, we'll just kind of start going through those expansions, seeing what they add. Play some Small World. Ian, it seems like that is yours and my kind of gateway game into the hobby. I would like to play some more Praga with multiplayers. It's minimum. They don't have the solo on Board Game Arena, but that's okay because I've got the solo here. But I do want to try that at 3 or 4 players. I just kind of want to see how that player interaction is. Definitely want to play some more Feast for Odin so I can try out some new strategies. But yeah, I'm kind of up for anything there on Board Game Arena. So that is really all that I have for this month. Imagine playing Feast for Odin. Yeah, Steve, I will continue playing it with you. I think you're my Feast for Odin buddy. We can continue doing that one as much as you would like. But yeah, I'm, again, kind of up for anything on Board Game Arena. If you are not friends with me on there, I will invite you to add me. And I'm putting my username in the chat right now. I don't think it needs to be capitalized. I think you can still find me like that, but it's just Paul Dads and Dice. Feel free to add me. Feel free to start a game with me at any time, async, and we'll continue doing that. So again, that's all that I have for this. Devin and I are back in town. Well, both of us are in town this week because Devin, he's very busy for this month of October. October is always a busy month for him. His company, they do pretty much everything in October. So he has a very busy month. But we will be together on Friday to do our, what is it called? Our month in review. And then we will, and then I will be here the next 2 Fridays, just doing a solo live stream. So right here, I have the schedule on the screen. So again, today we're doing our monthly. Wednesday, Devin is going to be soloing Inventors of the South Tigris. Tune into that one. Should be good. I've enjoyed playing that one solo quite a bit. That one has definitely grown on me. I know Devin very much enjoys it. This Friday, we'll be doing our month in review. Next week, Devin's got some Tawa Tensuyu, and then I will be soloing some Kinfire Delve. Just a nice little kind of dungeon crawler-esque game where you guys can help me make some decisions. Week after that, what's new in the collection? I've already got some new stuff in the collection. Devin will be soloing Watch. I'll be soloing the White Castle on Friday. And then Monday the 28th, a special live stream. I'm going to be going live with Steve from the Co-op Guild, and we'll be playing Horrified, some spooky games for Halloween. And then the 30th, Devin will be doing Caverna, and we'll be doing something the 1st of October or November. So yeah, Michael, a light stream for Devin. You know, he did Altiplano last week. He needs something very heavy. I will tell you that stream is going to take minimum 3.5 hours. So if you want to join us on that one, be prepared for a long one. It is a great game, though. Highly suggest you checking it out, or just check it out at another time. So appreciate you guys being here, as always. Thank you guys so much for talking in the chat and all that kind of stuff, keeping us engaged and keeping us active. We really do appreciate it. As always, remember, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help us. We're trying to get to 2,000 subs by the end of the year. We're almost there. If you guys could just help spread the word and whatever you guys do, we appreciate it. So we will see you. Devin will see you on Wednesday. I will be seeing you guys again on Friday. Have a good night. Talk to y'all later.